right, so bandits kidnapped 280 pupils from Kaduna schools. Over 200 pupils and teachers of government secondary school and LEA primary school at Kuruga in Kaduna State were abducted by bandits last week Thursday, triggering a national outcry, especially on the social media space. The bandits reportedly invaded the Kuruga area of the Chikum local government area of Kaduna State, shooting at their victims before taking away at least 280 of the pupils and teachers from both schools. Now, the Jamaatul Nasrul Islam, Amnesty International, the Parents Teachers Association of Nigeria, the Nigeria Union of Teachers, and the House of Representatives have all come out in separate mediums to condemn the attack and ask the government to rescue the victims immediately. Also, the president has come out to order immediate rescue of the abducted pupils and their teachers. Meanwhile, in developing stories, we'll hear that the Kaduna State government has already gone ahead to hire private negotiator to free the 287 pupils, and we hear that negotiations for the release of these pupils is already underway, even as the state government has also come out in a video to promise residents of the state and the entirety of Nigeria that no child will be left behind. All the children will be brought back safe and sound. All right, gentlemen, let's have this conversation. So last week, this was a very trending issue, this abduction.
This is deja vu. We've seen this time and time again. That is gotten to a point where we don't have anything else to say. I mean, what is new? We knew of the Chibok girls kidnap of more than 300 persons. Now it's 200 plus. And you keep wondering what is wrong, because what it takes to kidnap 200 individuals, the logistics, the planning, okay, but after you have successfully kidnapped them, to move them, where are you moving them? Are you moving them through where? The police cannot spot them, the villagers did not spot them, the soldiers are all in that area, because ostensibly, not ostensibly, for real, that's a war zone. You have bandits operating there, you have Boko Haram sometimes, and even herdsmen operating there. So it should be an area where the security men are always at alert. So in spite of their alertness, nothing happened, and 200 and something school children were moved through the town, the village, and into the hideout of the bandits or the kidnappers, and nothing happened. So we've gone through this too many times, and we're beginning to wonder what is wrong. There's need for some kind of answers. There are too many unanswered questions, and the bandits are benefiting from all this. They kidnap the kids, and there's this outrage, there's this concern. People are worried, children in school. And then with that kind of hoopla, with that kind of concern among the people rally around and pay them ransom. The federal government is used to saying what he has said under Goodluck, under Buhari, and now we're hearing it under Tinubu, but nothing has changed. And that the state government is engaging negotiators, dramatizes the helplessness of the state government, which means you can't do anything, you can't challenge the bandits, you can't question them, since all they want is money. Make we kuku now negotiate money, pay them, so that the children will be released. It's a very disheartening situation, and I don't know where all this will lead to. But let's leave it, we just sit down look. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Ejgama, for your input. All right, now, Chief of Force said, this abduction of school pupils is coming on the heels of statements made by some national leaders just last week. And I think the military boss also came out to say that insecurity has actually reduced to a very large extent in Nigeria, and it was just the media, you know, that were blowing all these things out of proportion. And voila, by Thursday, 287 students were kidnapped. All right, now, as an affront and to make a very strong statement to the government, yesterday or this morning again, you know, bandits kidnapped some students again from Sokoto, I think. All right,
that was yesterday.
Yesterday, thank you for that. You know, from Sokoto and all that. So showing that, you know, they are still very much in business. So how do we begin, you know, to even process all of this, taking it from the statement made from the side of the government as to the fight against insecurity, and also seeing what, you know, these non-state actors are actually about?
It's a very disturbing situation, patient, seriously. And you know, perhaps it's the media that is behind the kidnap of these people, because the military, the security agencies, the top security personnel have always been very delusional. Let me use the word delusional about. And I always ask myself, if the government actually has come out to say that, or has experienced a reduction in insecurity across the state, they should have asked themselves what is responsible, because they themselves, they know they are not doing enough. Now, in 2024, 10 years after Chibok situation, we are still having this. The people that criticize the Chibok adoption, which was very, very disturbing, one of the one of the worst security situation in the world at that time, as it were. And now we are having the Chibok situation, like the hell almost the heaven almost came down because he was unheard of. Now we had Dapchi, we were calm. Today, up to today, Lee Sharibu is still in captivity. And the government is saying that they are not going to let any child behind. And only God will help them how they are going to do that. Now, how do we help ourselves? Every year, school children, now the army, the security agencies could say that they have successfully tackled the Boko Haram, the bandits, as it were, because they are no longer dropping bombs in Abuja and every part of the country. But they are doing things that are worse than that. As we speak, they're doing things. How do you expect 200 parents in these areas? Okay, would you now say that they are part of this country? Are they going to feel part of Nigeria right now? So at the end of the day, what do we do? What we need to do essentially is that, first, the people that criticize Goodluck at that time haven't learned anything. And I think they need to take lessons from what happened in Chibok. Nobody has learned anything. Former President Buhari was there. Chibok, they rescue, they remove one. Because the life of one person is like the life of a country. You don't know whether that child could have grown up to become the president and save us from this problem that we are having. Today is in captivity. Up to today, so many are still left behind from Chibok. We cannot beat our chest and say we have successfully rescued all the Chibok girls. Some will say they are, in fact, there was time in the news that they said that some of them say they don't want to come back because their life in the captivity is better than their life here. That's what the newspaper reported. That report didn't come from me. So at the end of the day, what should we do? We should find a way to stop this from happening. We shouldn't begin to. It's very sad that the government will come out, the government that says that don't negotiate with terrorists, don't negotiate with kidnappers, don't negotiate with bandits, are the one leading in negotiation. And I think what they're supposed to have done, first and foremost, is to find a way, where are these child? When you look at how these children have been adopted, these schools are not in a far away, are not in the suburb. These schools are not in the bushes. These schools are not far away in the forest. They are in the town. How can 200 children, how can we move 200 children at once, and people are not seeing it. And the checkpoints that we have every now and then are not there. Those are the questions. We have, if you go to the north, you find out that every kilometer is a checkpoint. Even going to east, if you want to go from Ore Road, I traveled that road very frequently recently.
That was the money then they find.
No, wait, that's what.
Don't be bandits.
That's what I'm saying. So at the end of the day, how do they move children that large in number that people will not see, even the villagers will not see them? So it still baffles me, like Mikhail Zukama said, it boggles the mind to see that this keep happening in our country. And what we keep hearing from president to president, I now mandate the military to go and rescue the children. It shows no innovativeness in all of this. Seriously. Recently, they launched Safe School Initiative. What happened to Safe School Initiative? Federal government was supposed to put $10 million in that fund, and private sector was supposed to put $10 million. What happened to that initiative? Why are our children not safe in schools? What are we supposed to do?
All right, to add to what you just mentioned on the initiative you just mentioned, let's not forget also that the LNSC or the, what are they called? Civil Defense.
Yes.
NSCDC. The NSCDC also are supposed to be manning some of the schools that are exposed to invasion and abduction and stuff like this. You mentioned something earlier, Mr. Ezukama, while you were talking, the fact that why was there no presence of military in this school, seeing that area already has a history, yes, of insecurity and all of that. The secondary school was moved from its original location into the private school because of security concerns. So that shows that the government had an inkling, that this area is really not safe for the pupils. Voila! So they moved the secondary school from one location to the location, and that same location now, the bandits also invaded and abducted 287, not just the pupils, but their teachers as well. All right, there are videos online. There are reasons why I'm not going to show them, but you can go online and watch them, of parents of these children, abducted children, crying and begging the state government, to bring their children back home. Also last week, we hear that about 20-something of these pupils were able to escape. They ran out of the kidnappers' den and they escaped. But then we still have over 200 Nigerian pupils who are out there in the bush somewhere, just somewhere, and they are being held.
There is no shelter over their heads. They are exposed to all kind of dangerous animals.
Think of the state of mind of their parents, what they will be going through.
That's what I'm saying.
Mental agony, So it's sad, and some countries of the world, but by some standards or some indices, Nigeria is beginning to be considered a failed state, and we are really at that point. Something needs to be done, and done immediately and drastically, to change this situation, because it just cannot continue. The insecurity and the obvious cahoot, the obvious collaboration between security agencies and the bandits, it needs to be addressed. So much has gone wrong, and the government, this present government, with its renewed hope, needs to do something about it.
Thank you, Mr. Ezukama. Meanwhile, the United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, has condemned the recent attack on schools in Kaduna State. Hours after the school incident, the UNICEF representative in Nigeria, Christian Munduate, ruled the attack, saying that Nigerian children deserve to learn in peaceful environment. According to the country representative, he said schools are supposed to be sanctuaries of learning and growth, not places of fear and violence. To quote him, UNICEF, this latest abduction, as any previously, is highly condemnable and part of a worrying trend of attacks on educational institutions in Nigeria, particularly in the Northwest, where armed groups have intensified their campaign of violence and kidnappings. UNICEF urges immediate action to ensure the safe return of the abducted children and staff, and calls on authorities to implement comprehensive measures to secure schools across Nigeria. All right, they also went on, to condole with the families of the abducted students and staff, and according to them, the right to education is fundamental and must be protected against any form of violence or intimidation. The children of Nigeria deserve to learn in peace. Once again, the state governor, Governor Uba Sani of Kaduna State, has come out to promise that he will ensure every child returns back home. All right, the governor visited the community where the students were abducted last week, and he went on to say that a manhunt for the bandits is already underway, with troops deployed to Kuriga and other surrounding areas to rescue the kidnapped children. Okay, all right, it's so sad. Kaduna has been a hotbed, for a lot of these insecurity related issues. All right, like I mentioned yesterday, again, some pupils, also some children were adopted from Sokoto. All right, so the state government does need to do something and do it really quickly.